It's Friday, September 11th. Welcome aboard to this edition of Barnstable Today. I'm Kevin Friel.
And I'm Andrew Gobiel. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, as you drive through the town, you'll notice, obviously, the flagpoles on town property, the flags at half-staff today, obviously, in commemoration of the events of September 11th, 2001.
We'd like to remind you right at the top that the meetings we cover are available on demand at the town's website, www.town.barnstable.ma.us.
Next Tuesday is going to be the start of a very busy election season for Town Clerk Linda Hutchenreiter here in the town of Barnstable. We banished Kevin to the basement of Town Hall, where he interviewed Linda, talking about just what was going on and how busy this election season is going to be.
Well, I'm now down in the basement of Town Hall. It's cluttered with boxes and all sorts of stuff as a staging area for an upcoming town election. Now, these boxes annually get brought out and prepared by the town clerk's office. I'm now joined with Town Clerk Linda Hutchenreiter. Linda, what exactly do we have going on?
We have a lot going on. And what you have behind you are all the boxes that are actually the boxes that will hold the ballots. The machines that will add up your ballots are placed on top of it, and the ballots are divided by those boxes automatically into a read, unread, and write-in scenario. Behind us are the suitcases that have the handicapped accessible machines. All of these machines need to be tested. Every single election they are tested with sample ballots that we actually mark on the machines to make sure that they're working properly. And that testing was done a couple of weeks ago. These machines are also tested where they're open, they're made sure that no other ballots are left in there from former elections, and those are all tested. We have to have them lined up according to routes. So we have here the beginning of Route 2, and there are two trucks that come in real early in the morning, like after 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to be meeting them in October, so I have to get that time down. But basically, there's two trucks from Structures and Grounds. They come and they will take not only these machines, these tables, the voting boxes, but they also will have the supply boxes, the ballot suitcases, and the bottom line is a lot of work to putting together an election.
Absolutely. So we do have a number of elections coming up. Why don't we start with the school committee's election that's paring down a number of candidates?
Exactly. On Tuesday, September 15th, we are going to have an election townwide, and that will be specifically for all the members of the school committee. There are 5 people running, and you can only have double the amount of seats that are available. So there are 2 seats available, which means we can have 4 people on the ballot in November. We have 5 people running, so we are having this election to pare down, and the top 4 vote getters will be on the ballot in November. We do have one precinct, which is Precinct 12. They actually have something extra. They have 2 things to vote for. They not only have the school committee, but there are 3 people running for the seat of town council there. And again, it's the same scenario. We have 1 seat. We could have 2 people, but instead we have 3. So the top 2 vote getters from this election will be on the ballot in November. So this is our town preliminary election.
Great, Linda. There's also another election coming up in October, a special election revolving around the Stewart's Creek project. Could you tell us how it got to be a special election?
Basically, that was the choice of the council. The council could have put the ballot question on the November ballot, but it was their choice and their vote to place it at a special election. This is going to take place October 13th. We have absentee ballots for this election as well. I have everything organized out, and we have to have the ballots normally 3 weeks ahead of time. We got these in just yesterday, so we're a little bit ahead of the curve, but I wanted to make sure that those people who are going to Florida had the opportunity to vote. Everybody's vote counts on all of these elections, and I'm really encouraging everyone to get out for all of them. And we do have one September 15th, we have one October 13th, then we will have our town election November 3rd, then we're going to have the state preliminary, which is for Senator Kennedy's seat, December 8th, that's number 4, and our 5th election in 5 months will be January 19th. So these boxes are going to remain in the hallway for some time, so people need to watch out when they come down here, because these are going to be rotating the whole time. We're very busy right now.
I would like to just step back real quick and talk about the special election October 13th.
Sure.
The Stewart's Creek project. I mentioned it. Could you just explain a little bit more as to what the question is?
Okay, the question is, are the voters in favor of the following appropriation in loan order voted favorably by the Town Council on August 27th? Then it lists the question. This question was voted favorably by the Council, and basically what happened was there was a group of people that came forward. They did a petition to stop the vote. And because when the council went at the end of the time that they had collected all the appropriate signatures, it forced the council to vote on this question one more time. Mm-hmm. They did. They still said that they wanted it voted favorably. So what that did was, because of the charter, it threw it into an election where the people now can make the choice. 20% of the registered voters need to come out for this election in order for the majority vote to count. So if the majority vote of the people say yes, they are in favor of this question, then the question goes forward. If they say no, then the question does not go forward. But 20% of the people need to come out and vote at this election in order for the vote to count. If 18% come out, it doesn't count. It doesn't matter what they vote. It remains in the positive, and the council's choice and the council's vote will remain.
I'd like to talk a little bit about the special election for late Senator Ted Kennedy. What kind of details do you know at this point about that election and whom may be running?
We don't know much at this particular point, except Martha Coakley will be running, and some other people have put their names out there but haven't definitely committed. The Secretary of the Commonwealth right now is going to be the one that will be taking the papers, and we'll be seeing hopefully some nomination papers as time goes on, but that's still a little bit way away. And we also have not heard as to whether or not there's going to be any passage of a vote in the legislature to allow an appointment to replace Senator Kennedy and tell the ballot. Just as a point of information, the Secretary of the Commonwealth called our office to find out the exact day that Senator Kennedy died, because based on the date of death of a person in that position, that defines when the election will be held. And it has to be held between, I believe it's 140 and 145 and 160 days. So there were only 2 days in that time that they could have the election, and one was January 19th. And that's the one they chose based on the fact that if they had chosen the other day, it would have made last day to register to vote on Thanksgiving evening. Right now, this interferes in some ways with some of the religious holidays. So the Secretary of State and the Governor and everybody else involved really worked hard to try to pick the date that was least offensive to the most people. Mm-hmm. And it ended up being January 19th. And so it's going to be a busy season here.
Well, thank you very much, Linda. Is there anything else you'd like to add to our conversation today?
No, just get out and vote.
Wonderful. A very busy Linda Hutchenreiter preparing for these upcoming elections. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Once again, Kevin Friel along with Town Clerk Linda Hutchenreiter in the basement of Barnstable Town Hall. Linda and her staff and volunteers as well are going to be very busy over the next few weeks.
Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you right back here on Monday. I'm Kevin Friel.
And I'm Andrew Gobiel. Thank you very much for joining us.